Good morning. Today's video is going to address a couple of different topics. I'm going to highlight each one individually, and I might even do them in separate short video clips. And what I have noticed, and I have alluded to in other videos, is the repetitive theme, the ancient motif, if you will, of our collective unconscious. And the theme always seems to revolve around a bad guy who causes all kinds of trouble, and then a superhero who saves the forlorn female. Then there's even a female who is the super powered woman who wields out destruction like Kali, but it's all for good. Just like fire is destructive, but it actually regenerates a forest, and it's actually for good. It's just a cycle. And recently I have noticed that that similar theme unfolds in the Christian text and the Jewish text. And the Bhagavad Gita is full of these magical stories of the prince who has to find himself, his true love, and yet there's destruction and cities being destroyed and end of world type apocryphal events unfolding. And those motives, those themes, like Jung and Freud talked about, are with all of us. It's like a campfire. You know, we love to sit around a campfire. It has a primordial warmth and comfort to it that invites conversation and storytelling and makes us feel warm and comfortable. So the themes I'm going to be addressing will probably be done in very short video clips, but they are themes that seem to continuously unfold. Even I have noticed them in the Book of the Dead, or more commonly known as the Book of the New Day, the Egyptian Book of the New Day. And it is painted and written on all of the tombs of the kings and great pharaohs of the past. And those stories have been handed down and repeated over and over and over, just told in a different light, changed ever so slightly for each generation's, each society's and culture's ideals and symbols and understanding. But there is a similarity to every single one of those ancient teachings that have filtered through and that we are still living by today. The first one is people who can fly. Isis is depicted with her arms spread out and with wings. We have Jesus rising to heaven. We're not exactly sure how he rose to heaven in the biblical text, but we have him rising to heaven. We have Noah going up the mountain, another metaphor to talk to God. We have these similar themes, and the similar theme is really talking about the Merkaba spin, the counter-rotating spin that you have seen me do in other videos is actually the vehicle, Ezekiel's wheels, Ezekiel's spaceship to heaven is actually the Merkaba spin. Rising to heaven on wings like eagles is your Kundalini awakened Merkaba spin. My Kundalini awakened Merkaba spin. And it is depicted as the Star of David. It is the downward pointing and upward pointing triangle interlocking that counter-rotates and creates conscious and physical flight. Of course, it also changes me into my light body so that I am able to go and visit other places at a higher conscious level and see an expanded view of physical and cosmic creation. Another theme that I would like to address today is crowns. So we have, it will not stay on my head, we have a crown of thorns for Jesus. We have the laurel wreaths for the Greek Olympiads and great poets. We have the crown of England for the current king and former queen, his mother, made of jewels and gold. Crowning actually first was documented in most recent history in the Book of the Dead, the Book of the New Day, and the crowning was actually called a wreath of justification. And a wreath, which was usually made of laurel or feathers or papyrus, sometimes roses later on, I think they used. And the person who had died and awakened Kundalini is then crowned in their success of overcoming death and becoming immortal. And I believe that is written in chapter 19, if you wanted to look that up. But we have carried that forward, and it has changed over time from the crowning of justification, the successful journeyer, soul journeyer who becomes immortal is crowned in glory and respected for all eternity for attaining immortality, and now resides among the gods and goddesses of creation. So that, of course, has changed very dramatically into the Christian Jesus crown of thorns. As I have stated in other videos, I am not a proponent of Christianity, specifically Catholicism, because so many of their symbols have been turned into a very morbid depiction of something great, a great achievement, a great and beautiful gift of God. And in the shadow realm, in your realm, which is the shadow realm of God, it has been perpetuated over the past 2,000 years as something very painful and excruciating and morbid, and it's not that at all. It is a beautiful, beautiful gift of achievement, and so we need to change that theme. We need to change that idea to what it truly represents, which is depicted very specifically in the Book of the New Day, the Egyptian Book of the New Day, the Book of the Dead, chapter 19. It is a glorious crowning of achievement, of overcoming death, of overcoming the struggles of the soul and the ego, and attaining immortality. So that is another theme that I wanted to address today, as I have seen it related to Kundalini awakening and the truth behind the changes made through religious dogma. One more topic I'm going to address in this video before I go on to something else would be the Christ. What is the Christ? The Christ is Christ consciousness. It is the christening. In many religious traditions, we have a christening of the head, sometimes the christening of the entire body, of a submergence, of a baptismal, of a renewal, a cleansing and renewal of the body, mind, and spirit of the individual. The christening actually relates to the third eye opening, the pineal gland in the center of your brain, a tiny little almond-shaped gland that when you awaken Kundalini, and like I said in another video, it feels like someone stabbed you in the head with a sword. It's excruciating when your third eye is cracked open. And then over a series of time, it dissolves into an oily substance. So it cracks open and it's kind of like a sand-like material, I guess. And then it dissolves into an oily, watery type of substance, which spreads throughout your brain, bringing enlightenment, bringing a higher connectivity to your brains and neurological activity, and then that spreads throughout your entire anatomy for the transformation of the body from human into light. You actually turn into light, into spirit. Is referred to as spirit, but it's actually returning to your light body self, so that you can cosmically fly and be moved through space and time, and your organs are protected because they are transformed with you. So the Christ consciousness is how you see God, how you interact on higher levels, and how you experience greater perception of your entire being and the world around you. And that is through the opening of the third eye, which in the Hindu culture, they represent it by a beautiful jewel or something in the center of the forehead. So those three topics, the wings to fly, the crown, and the Christ consciousness, is all relating to higher consciousness and human enlightenment through awakening Kundalini. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it gave you a little more insight into the real experience of what I am experiencing, what I have experienced, and how some of the ancient writings and religious writings actually refer to Kundalini awakening, even though they don't seem to know it. But thank you for keeping it alive. It just has to be corrected in its interpretation. So I hope you all have a very beautiful day. Thank you for watching.